Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the First Exchange podcast with me, your host, Lydia Des Dolles, and I'm delighted to be joined by WBC and IBO featherweight champion, TERRI Harper. Yay!
Super featherweight.
Super featherweight. Welcome.
Well, hello. Nice to be here.
Welcome to the First Exchange podcast. I'm delighted to have you.
No, thanks for having me.
Episode 3.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time. So first things first, good news yesterday.
Yeah.
The hand is healed.
Yes.
How are we feeling?
Do you know what? I feel like I've been in this position before, obviously last time when I got signed off.
Yeah.
But now, like this time I know it's different.
Yeah.
It's 100%. So like going back to when I had my operation, like a couple of weeks after, I've got it in my head that it'll never break again. It's sound. So I'm just using my hand as normal. Christmas. Opened a jar, snapped the plate, obviously with the gripping and the twisting. And then Mike, the hand surgeon, were confident that it was going to heal solid, even though I had a nice bump.
Yeah.
So we did went straight into training camp then for the Choi fight. A full, probably 15, 16 weeks, like no problem. A few twinges, obviously, at the beginning when it was still quite fresh. And then, a week before the fight, it went. And I just knew as soon as I took the glove off and saw the swelling, I just, tried to hold back tears. But
that's literally what I'm going to ask you. Like, what is the feeling in it? Like, do you know when you get bad news or a shock and your body sort of goes into that, like the blood drains from your face a little bit? What was it for you? How did you feel in the moment?
So I was gutted. I remember sitting on the side of the ring, took my head guard off, gloves came off, and that's then I'm unwrapping my hands, and then I just see like this instant swelling. So I got it straight away, shed a few tears. Andrew and that calmed me down. Got straight in contact with Mike, so the hand surgeon, sent him pictures over, and he got me in straight away next day, bless him. But yeah, I think I was just more like after a while, I was just more mad at myself for being so stupid and naive back at Christmas.
Really?
Yeah, so really put like a lot of, what would you call it? Like I criticised myself a lot and for that, and I just think it's lesson learnt the hard way for being stupid.
But do you not think it was a bit of a freak accident though? You know, it could have happened at any time. Yeah,
it could have, but I just feel like I wasn't seeing it as that. It's just like I saw it as...
Yeah.
I didn't look after it properly. Definitely didn't after the first operation. Just like I said, I was naive, thinking, oh, it's fixed. It's got a plate in it. It's solid.
Yeah.
And I think the main reason is because, obviously, after the fight, when I first broke it, I went like a full week waiting for my operation with a broken hand, like struggling to move my finger and stuff. Then you go into operation, you come out and you can move your hand as normal. Weren't in a pot. Just in a bandage, and as soon as obviously bandage comes off, you can start using your hand as normal. Yeah. And I think that's what it is for me. So this time after operation, I left my splint on for as long as possible. Just a nice little reminder that my hand's healing and it is still damaged. Not damaged, but...
Was there ever a moment where you had that fear or panic that, not that your career is over, but it can be affected, like really badly, negatively affected by this?
Yeah, so... Like the night after the spar, when I knew I was going to see Mike the next day, I was just thinking, loads of thoughts were going through my head. Like, so obviously I got a car on finance, and I'm thinking, I'm not fighting.
Who's paying for that?
I'm not getting paid. How do I get this car gone? I was thinking, am I going to have to go back to a normal 9-to-5 job? I remember crying, thinking, I don't want a normal 9-to-5 job and be like everyone else. I was thinking, like, is that my boxing career done? Yeah. And then, like, the next day when I went to see Mike, it were mad because he x-rayed the hand and he was like straight away like you couldn't see no like physical changes from, because it was like couple of weeks before that spar. I got it signed off and like they re-x-rayed it and stuff, obviously with the lump. So then when I got it x-rayed again after the spar, couldn't see no like changes in angles and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
So then we were thinking, is it like soft tissue damage? Is it just aggravated? So he says, go away for a week. Just take it nice and steady. Obviously, still having to prepare for this unification fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of gave us, like, a bit of hope, saying we could, like, local anaesthetic on the hand. So we were willing to go into that fight with a numb hand. And then, like, obviously after operation, he said, like, I'm glad we didn't, because, like, once they opened it up, it was completely broken, so...
Shit.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, it's funny when you look at fighters and like the mentality of, you know, something as serious as that, and it's like looking at all options, just get me to the fight.
Yeah.
Like all roads will lead to the fight. Like I don't care what happens, just get me in there.
Yeah.
You know, are you glad now that he had opened it up and like you saw, because obviously we don't know what really bad kind of outcome could have happened if you did fight on it.
Yes, seeing, like, now looking back, I just think I could have obviously done more damage.
Yeah.
And then I could have definitely probably ruined my career.
100%.
So these are the tools, these are the money makers. So
absolutely.
I think just like a setback for a couple of months,
mm-hmm.
It's worth it. And at first I didn't see that because I've done all that hard training.
Yeah.
Weight were bang on and everything like that, all the time that everyone's put into me. I felt like when I first did that at Christmas, I felt like I let everyone down, because I'm like, there's a lot of people that went out of the way to make sure I had the best recovery. And
that's a really good point, right? And that concept of, I feel like I've left everybody down, and that is the one thing that I always pick up on when a fighter loses a fight or something like that happens. They always think about all the people, like their coaches and that have given this time to them in the run up to it. When you look at yourself, you know, and the team that's around you, do you think that this would have been possible without them?
No. Just mentally, like I could have easily gone into a mentally dark place.
Yeah.
Like for me, that's boxing's what keeps me going, and the fact that obviously I've been out of the ring almost a year now.
Yeah.
I put a post on last night thanking like everyone who were involved.
Yeah.
Like during this road to recovery. Like especially like Mike, the hand surgeon, who was like, I just find him like he's got the patience of saying like, just to be putting up with me now. I apologise to him so much for like ruining his good work and stuff, but Mike was very understanding. He's a very nice guy. And then obviously, like doing my strength and conditioning with over at Danny's. He was doing loads of extra work with me, working on grip strength and everything like that. Nutritionist who's obviously helped me recover and heal well just through the correct food and stuff like that. So yeah, I just feel like,
is it overwhelming to have this, like all these people who are specialists in their fields, and including Andrew, Stefy, your coach as well?
Yeah, we'll not forget that anyone.
But you know, to have them want to invest their own time in you because they see something in you, they want to be part of your journey. Like for not Terri Harper, the world champion, but Terri Harper, the, you know, girl from South Yorkshire, is that overwhelming to feel that so many people believe in you so much and see your potential?
Yeah, obviously Andrew's been the one from the beginning who's always been banging the drum, screaming and shouting about me,
and still is.
Yeah. So like for me, I feel like it's like we are a family, and as cliche as it sounds, and that's what everybody says. But yeah, it's like I probably spend more time with these guys day in, day out than what I do see some members of my family and stuff like that. So I've made friends for life, and like I know everyone in my team's got my best interests at heart, and they all just want the best for me. So I've got a
when
good
you
team.
look back on like when you started and that time that you kind of went away from the sport and, you know, probably just finding yourself or figuring out what you want to do, and that whole now iconic text message or, you know, DM that Stefy has that he likes to hash out all the time. But it's so good, you know, because it, like, I think if anything, it shows how easily that people can miss their opportunity to be great. That's what I take from it. It's like how close you could have come to going, no, you know what, it's not, I'm not going back into it. When you look back at that time now, do you believe in faith? Do you believe that, you know, this is all part of, you know, I would call it soul purpose, or like the reason you're here, like that this journey has been mapped out for you? How do you feel about it?
So I always believe in everything happens for a reason. And I do always say I'm grateful for the time I did have away from the sport, because that's made me so passionate about it now. And like for me, it's all I think about. I could just all my time, energy, it's just boxing. And I do feel sorry for my friends, family, my partner Jen, obviously, because like everything, it's just 100% into the sport now, and maybe I can at times be selfish. But I just think it's a short career. And if I want to have a good life, obviously when I'm in mid-30s, whenever I retire, then I know I've put 100% effort in these younger years when it's means the most. And yeah, like you said, I do think like this is the path that I was meant to take, and I just make sure now that I'm telling the younger ones that are coming up and through, like, when the ones that I see that are talented, I'm like, don't fizzle out, don't go and want to do what your mates are doing, because like, what's wrong with being different? And I know it's like when you're young, you feel like you're missing out on parties, and you're missing out on eating what you want. You're up early training in the morning, but that's a dedication that'll give you a good life in the future. So
absolutely. What do you think it is about kids? You know, we see it all the time, like especially in amateur clubs, where you have these boys and girls with absolute potential, and they don't realize their potential, and they've coaches that are drilling into them every week, you can be a world champion, you can be a world champion. And then they get to like 16, 17, 18, and they drop off. And then, you know, I've been doing this nearly a decade, and I've seen guys that have dropped off just as I started, and now it's kind of too late for them, because they're like 7, 8 years older, and already they have regrets of not giving it their potential. For what? Like, for, you know, a session on the weekend with your friends who, you know, don't know what they want to do, or are still figuring out, you know, how great they can be, if even that will ever happen for them, you know.
It's true. I just think this is what, like, it's hard at such a young age, especially if you've done it all them years. Like from, like I've always been sporty growing up through school and stuff. I started amateur boxing at 10 years old, so like all I knew were in the gym, and then I think that's why I kind of fizzled out, because I wanted to go and live a normal life and be like everyone else. But then once you live in that life, you're like, oh, as I say, it's boring.
Couple weeks.
Yeah, so like for me now, there's like, I always feel like everyone, I know there's people close to me that tell me that, oh, you changed, or you're changing, but I feel like it's because I don't want to be like everyone else. Like everyone was partying on a week. I'm happy staying at home. Watching anything to do with boxing, or chilling, or getting my recovery in, rather than partying and stuff like that. Like, that lifestyle's not for me, and I don't think it'll ever be a part of me now.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out? Like, do you ever feel like there's a part of you that is like that, you know, a small part that will crave that not an athlete lifestyle?
I think sometimes, like, obviously my partner Jen, she's like, she enjoys socialising, she enjoys a party and stuff, and I feel like sometimes I think, does she deserve someone who likes to do that type of stuff, or who can share that type of lifestyle with her? But luckily for me, she puts up with me, I put up with her. It's like, we like chalk and cheese, but we kind of balance each other out, and we're very understanding, obviously, of each other. And but yeah, it's just like, for me, it's just for the next 10 years, everything's just going to be dedicated to boxing.
I think maybe with you and Jen as well, like from the outside, I'm like, with you and Jen as well, you know, let me...
Let me just get Jen up front. Listen.
Jen, come in. But, you know, like,
we got a counselling session.
We've duped you into it. But, you know, from the outside, if it appears that she's, you know, it's like probably one of those things that your relationship does seem to be so solid. So that's probably why you have the security of going, like, you know, like, it's only 10 years, and if I do this now, and we'll be able to build this amazing future with each other. And it's like one of those things where you meet people in the sport that kind of want to stay away from relationships because of that mentality of, I need to be selfish and it's not fair to the other person. But it really is, I suppose, having someone who's understanding and who gets it. And once you have, you know, understanding, communication, then it can be done. I mean, you're proof of it, right?
Especially the days when I'm hungry and starving. And
is she bad though? Is she still eating in front of you?
It's a joke, to be fair. She'll come in with takeaway and sit and eat it aside.
No.
But
Jen.
yeah, recently when I've just started working with Lee Rickards, my nutritionist.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that just being around like food, like smelling nice foods and stuff like that while you're on a diet can make you like hold on to weight and stuff like that. So I'm like, Jen, no more eating around me.
Stop.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, crazy.
No way.
Yeah.
Just like because your body just feels like it's eating it.
I don't know what it is, but
that seems wholly unfair.
Yeah, I'm not clued up enough up there to understand fully, but yeah, that's what Lee was saying.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the celery's coming out later on. I'm gonna sniffing celery.
No more sitting in restaurants smelling nice food.
No, God, what a disaster. But one thing that I must not commend you on, but I suppose a huge part of Terri Harper, the boxer, is how open you've been about your relationship with Jen, about being gay, about your support for LGBTQ community, and how, it's been, I think, a comfort for a lot of like fans that have wanted someone to come to the forefront and to show their openness and acceptingness of who they are.
Yeah.
How was that for you? Because you are quite, I wouldn't say shy, but reserved. And, I imagine you don't really want to talk about, your personal life that often. But was it something that was important for you to speak about?
See, like for me, I don't try and like ram it down people's throats or anything like that. Like, I just think if I'm not hurting you, you're not hurting me, then what does it matter? So, always been open. Like I never feel like I've had to hide, and I'd say I've been quite lucky with the social media side. Like not really getting many trolls or anything, but like I feel like I've matured now, and if I do get a troll comment, it's just straight up the head.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know who they are, so it don't bother me. My family and my friends, everyone who matters the most and cares, they're all happy, and I think the main thing is just like, if I, like, me being open, if I can just like encourage someone younger, or it might be someone older who's struggling to come to terms with who they truly are. If I can help them in some way, then I think that's mission accomplished. And I remember when I first turned over professional, I had like the rainbow flag on my boxing shorts, just little things like a rainbow gum shield. But I do remember one time when I just boxed, I think it was at Sheffield Arena, not as a matchroom fighter, but on the matchroom card. It's like I got out of the ring and Jenna came over and gave me a kiss, like, in front of all these, and I was like, oh no, she just kissed me in front of all these, like, what's going to happen now? But yeah, luckily I've been accepted from day one, so. What
was the fear in that, people would just be shocked, or like?
I don't know, really. I don't know.
Because obviously you were obviously open with your family, that everyone knew that you were, in a relationship with her.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it was like on TV and stuff like that.
Well, now we can't get Jen off the TV. It's my favourite bit when you fight, when they show her in the audience. It's like the best thing ever.
Jen. Be on your best behaviour.
But why do you think that it's so difficult for maybe even not so much women but men in sports to come out and be open? What was the rugby player's name that came out? Gareth Williams, is it? The Welsh guy.
Did he go in Big Brother?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I can't remember his name. You did a little Google there, Danielle. Producer Danielle is doing a little Google. But I remember when he came out, and it was like all this shock, maybe because he's like very Gareth Thomas. Thank you very much, Danielle. We need to get Mike in here for you. But when he came out and everyone was so shocked, and maybe it's because rugby, it's the masculine sport, it's the stereotype, and it's just like, it just doesn't make much sense. But then when I looked at it, I was like, there is so many athletes that don't come out.
Yeah. And,
maybe it's because of brand, because they think of fear or different things, but it seems like, with people like yourself and Amanda Loa in the UFC.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, they're cute. They are goals, aren't they?
Serious goals. And they have the little baby now and stuff, So, like, it's like people like you guys that are making it just, it is what it is. And, like, let's move forward, and, like, let's not have it even be an issue anymore,
Yeah. It's true. It was like I see it now as like, everyone used to be like, oh, female boxing, like female this. It's not like now. I'm just a boxer.
Yeah.
Same as like me being in a gay relationship. I'm just in a relationship.
Yeah.
And like that's all it is to me. So that's when it throws me off, like when someone comes and asks me a question about being gay, and I'm like, whoa, I almost forgot. But yeah,
exactly. You know, but it is one of those things that is important to be spoken about because I always think, you know, I have so many friends from the LGBTQ community, and like I always,
tongue twister. That,
it's a tongue.
Even I don't attempt.
I always feel like I leave out a letter. I'm like, have I left out a letter here? Who am I leaving out? But you know, I remember one of my really good friends. You know, I spoke to him about when we used to be best friends when we were younger. You know, and I used to have a crush on him. And I remember when you know, one of my friends says, you know, and his name is Terry as well, Terrence, and he said, you know, Terry's gay, right? I was like, what? You know, I was so shocked. I should have known. He used to wear Spice Girl boots and like his eyeliner, and I should have known, you know. But I remember talking to him last year, and you know, we were having a few drinks, and I was like, tell me again about coming out. And he was saying about like the absolute fear that was in his heart to tell his mum, who was like so open and accepting. You know, I feel like if there was anything going on in my life, his mom would be the person I would tell. She's that open. Yeah. And we just had this really lovely conversation about like the fear in his heart and how he now wants to, you know, speak openly about it because he thinks about people who, and like that, older people and younger people who feel like they're lost in that they can't come out and that they'll be judged and won't be accepted. Yeah. And it's like, I think it's a freeing thing as a person in your life when you kind of realize that, you know, as long as you are true to yourself, no matter what the situation is, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, as long as you're not living a lie. Yeah. That's it, right? Yeah.
So like going back before, obviously when I was younger and discovering my sexuality and stuff and really like struggling to come to terms with it. Like my family's most laid back. Yeah. My dad's like the coolest guy. He's just,
a tattooer?
Yeah, 3 tattoos. Even though I'm getting one lasered off. But yeah, it's like the most laid back guy, and my dad just loves everyone and is very open minded and stuff. But I remember just like being petrified and
really,
yeah, like I used to just like watch YouTube video after YouTube video, but I forgot to delete history. So I think
of like how to come out to your parents. No way.
So I think my dad and my stepmom already kind of obviously were half expecting it, but yeah. So like one night I wrote them this long letter, like can't remember what in it, but I just put it under their pillow. So then I ran to go to sleep in my bedroom, and then like wide awake, I can't sleep. So I went and got the letter back, ran back into my bedroom, and then I just sent them a text, and I was like, I've got something to tell you. And they're like, yeah, and they're just like, I'm gay. And my dad was just like, well, I'm just glad you're not pregnant. And that's all he said. So, and then like the next day, my dad always took me to school. Like I'd refuse walking to school because I don't know, like I was quite lazy back then. I don't know if I was lazy, but I just couldn't bother to walk to school.
Can't believe it. Professional athlete, lazy.
Yeah, so, but for a week solid, I'd walk to school.
Really?
He avoided my dad and my stepmom. And then obviously after a week, I came round and yeah, that's it.
How old were you when this was going on?
15, just turned 15.
No way, okay.
No, right. 14 actually. 14. It would have been 14, yeah. Yeah.
And now you look back on it like, do you look back on it now and go like, what was I so freaked out about?
Yeah, I think it's because I was so young.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I think that's probably one of the best ways for me to come out, really. Yeah.
The letter is actually quite sweet, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't know what. I think I just screwed that up. Stuff like that. Send a text.
That's a very me thing. Like
century now. We don't need no letters.
It's a very like, you know, you can see you like writing out this long letter in with a candlelit, you know, room, and then be like, what am I doing? Get that bloody letter back. But let's talk about, you know, the journey that you've been on and, you know, talking about like having that want to not be normal. Let's explore that. Yeah. Like, what is it in you that you've recognized that you're like, I don't want a normal life. I want to be different. I want to be great. I want to, naturally, you want to be the best at what you do. Where do you think that's come from in you?
So I think, obviously, when I came away from came away from boxing, 16.
How long was it that you were away for?
4 years.
Okay.
I did come back and have a senior fight though, but like I was straight back out really.
Yeah.
So it was just like in and out.
We're back on the set.
Yeah. But it's like I've never been like party or anything like that. I went to uni. I never went out partying at uni. I just like commuted. But like straight away, as soon as I left school, started working. I was at chip shop and stuff like that. Good old chip shop. But like I just like a simple life. But like I always knew there was something missing. And like especially now, like when Andrew first got me up, like to turn professional, came back to it, and I was just loving it. And then I know like soon as I've had a fight, I'm back like partying then with everyone around me and stuff for a week, and then you go back to the gym and you crack back on. But like I just think there's like so many people that just like live for the weekend, and they're just not looking after the sense. Like I'm not here to preach out for someone to live the life. I always say it to Jen, like I said, Jen likes to socialise, likes to party, likes to drink, and I always tell her I'm not here to tell you how to live your life. Yeah. But you could maybe look after yourself a little bit, like just try and encourage her to live an healthier lifestyle and stuff. But for me, I just couldn't imagine how. Imagine living a normal life. And
I think as well from the health perspective is that when you live a clean lifestyle for a long period of time, like you would in a fight camp, and then you have your fight, you win, and you go on, you relax, you go on holidays, whatever it is, you feel. You recognize how your body feels, and then you go,
you poisoned your body.
Yeah, and it's like, fuck,
even with food, like poison with food.
Totally, and you're like, imagine if I'd done this for another 6 weeks, like where would I be?
Yeah.
But then when you get into that cycle, I always, even for myself, when I'm like being disciplined and at the gym or eating clean or whatever, and then I'm like, I'm gonna have a week off, or it's something's going on, a birthday or something, and you take that week off, and it's so hard to get back into it. But once you do, you're like, I'm so grateful that.
Yeah.
I'm back on the train, you know what I mean, of like eating clean. But that, that conversation of people who just want to work a job and party on the weekend, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, which is fair enough. It's like, I know people enjoy working a 9 to 5. Oh, my bill is going, sorry.
We need a biscuit. We need a biscuit in here.
Yeah, I'm getting in our snack drawer in a minute. So people enjoy like working 9 to 5s and coming home, relaxing, switching off from work. Obviously, then going and enjoying the weekend, which they more than deserve. But for me, it's just like, I think I need something to keep me ticking over. Yeah. I need something to focus on. Yeah. Otherwise, like, I was talking to Jason from gym. I said, what are you like on a Sunday, which is like as rest day? And I said, do you get depressed? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Me too.
This is Jason Cunningham.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I hate rest. Like, even though you need them, you need a rest day. Yeah. I just hate it. So I try and like then fill my day up, like taking my little sister out to the cinema, even though I can't eat all these sweets and stuff. But yeah, like going on a walk, going to sauna, and just trying to structure my day, because like once I'm out of routine, throws me off. Like especially when I had the second operation on this, because they took some bone off my hip and stuff. I wasn't allowed to do no exercise, so I'm literally legged about house for 2 weeks,
sitting with yourself,
doing my own editing. So yeah, I think that's what it is.
So with that, then, obviously you're in the pinnacle of your career right now, but do you ever think about after boxing?
Yeah, it scares me. Don't like to.
This is and
I'm 24 and I'm scared already about retiring.
This is it. This is why I'm asking, because I, even in myself, I'm like, I would work 7 days a week at doing this, no problem, don't question it. But I think about, what do I do after it? But it's a lot different for you, because I could potentially always do media, could always do little bits in some way, but for you to be a professional athlete, it's going to end. It's not going to last forever. How does that sit with you?
So I don't like the thought of it, but like luckily for me, I'm still so young, and I know I've got, touch wood, all been well with the hand and everything. I've got many years at this game, and I know I'm going to experience some amazing times and create some good memories. and hopefully, like, once I've finished, I can continue with the sport, whether that's coaching, managing, whatever. But yeah.
Well, I know you do you have your little camps, Terry.
Yeah,
what are they called again?
So today I've had a group of girls from Rotherham area, so that's it's like a summer camp. So they sent like a group of girls in. I have them for 4 hours, and like a good group of girls. It's nice and refreshing to see young girls walking through the gym, first time they've ever put a pair of gloves on, and teaching them the basics, as well as having crack with them, having a laugh, and like just getting to know the personalities and stuff like that. And I think sometimes as a boxer you can get caught up in your own world, in your own bubble, boxing bubble, and it's nice to like speak to others and listen to their interests and like just something other than boxing. But we also the gym's also been running summer camps, and they're crazy. On the summer camps are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and there's like 30 kids in the gym at once.
Yeah. What are they like with you? Are they like, oh my god, that's like the champ, Terry Harper?
Yes. They make me feel famous, to be fair. So like
come on, you are famous, Terry Harper. Come on.
No, they're a good group, and but when it's 30 kids, it drains you. I go home and I'm like, oh, I'd rather do a 10-round spar with Mike Tyson than that. But yeah, it's good, and it's nice to see the fun side of boxing. Yeah. Instead of it being serious.
What do they say to you?
Can I have your autograph?
Really?
No.
Are you like, I gave you one 3 days ago. You've asked me every day.
I'm like, can I have a percentage on what you're selling it for? No, so a lot of them always want to just like, go on the pads and stuff like that.
Can you remember there being anyone in your life when you were growing up that would have had that impact? Because obviously you are a champion, you're at the height of your career, you are Terry Harper, but to children even more so, you see it even with like, pop stars or singers with children, they're just like so enamored, and like you really, if you listen to anyone who's like had a story or who's done anything, they can almost always tell there was this person that inspired me, or even if it's a teacher in a school.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. So for me, obviously always been sporty. My first sport was football. And I think I just like every sport like you threw at me to try. I just loved it, and so I'd say my biggest like inspirations like growing up definitely my PE teachers. You could call me a teacher's pet.
Really?
I was bad at school. It's a bit cringe, to be fair. I used to run to class so I wasn't like.
Stop it! Were you really, really smart?
Yeah, well, I've got a screenshot of my results of the day actually, because I forgot what I got, and like when your memories come up on Facebook and someone asked me what I got in my grades, and I'm like, oh, I got more B's than I thought, so like mainly B's, and I got an A in obviously PE sport, but anything extra I could do in that PE PE block I'd be doing like every day extra curriculum in PE and playing for all sports teams for the school and stuff. And like my PE teachers were always telling, I remember at one point they were telling me, Terry, you're always going to be a gunner. Because like when I came away from the sport, I said, yeah, I'm going to get back to it. And this was like going on for about a year. And they were like, Terry, you're always going to be a gunner if you don't like just go and do it.
What do they mean by a gunner? What does that mean?
Like if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
Oh, a gunner. You're like, I'm gonna do. Right. I think you meant like a gunner.
Yeah, no, not shooting anyone.
A life of crime for Terry Harper.
That's your headline. But yeah, so that kind of made me like sit back and realise like I can't just say I'm gonna do something. I've got to go and do it. And like one piece of advice that one of my PE teachers gave me was like take every opportunity that's given to you, no matter how big or small it may seem. Like just go and do it.
That is such good advice.
And that's like stuck with me from.
Just say yes. That's something that I always. Sometimes I think it's a bad thing because I can't say no.
Yeah.
Like any opportunity, I'm like, just say yes, and then afterwards, I remember reading a book, and it was like quoting Richard Branson, obviously Virgin Media, Virgin Airplanes, jets, whatever he does.
Rockets.
Space aliens, the whole lot. But I remember them him having a really, really famous quote of say, just say yes. And even if you can't do it or you don't know how to do it, figure it out afterwards. Just always take the opportunity. And that's something I think about all the time, you know, because like you just don't know what can come of any situation. And if you fail or you don't get the job or the, you know, something else comes from it, you have the experience. Like it's just a bit of experience, right? That's what it's all about.
Yeah, it's true.
Any of those teachers get in touch with you?
Yeah, so when I left school, I did sixth form, so I stayed in the school.
Yeah. What's sixth form now? We don't like, is that?
It's like you either go college or sixth form. So sixth form's still based at the like high schools and stuff.
Right, okay,
secondary
right.
schools.
Okay.
Not American. Or you can go to college. But so I chose to stick.
It's kind of like a year for you to figure out what you're doing kind of thing, is it? Right.
2 years, yeah. And then I was humming and ahhing if I were going to go to uni and that. They're like, Terry, just go.
Yeah.
So then I went to Sheffield Hallam to study sports coaching, and then we were allowed to do like, well, you have like a time where you do placement. I think it's for a couple of months. So you'll do like work placement back to secondary school. Like, can I come and do my work placement here? I just didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
I think now if they offered me a job, I'd be like, yeah, I'll come and teach. But yeah, so recently I had an email off one of my PE teachers, and they were like, would you mind coming up to school, obviously when they're back after school holidays? And I was like, yeah, definitely. Just have
a little chat or to meet everyone?
Take belts up, see all the kids, obviously catch up with some of the teachers, and just get back to old times, really.
When you get home after that, like, what goes through your head?
Do you know, I've done a few school visits during these 6-week holidays, and I just think these times are like precious, and these can be the time where like kids are choosing which path to take, and I think it's very important, and the more like people that can go in and like influence and guide these kids to make the right choices and stuff, like the better. So
is that important to you?
Yeah, because I think it's so easy to go down the wrong path. Yeah. Like obviously when I came away from sport, and obviously after uni and stuff, I wasn't really doing much. I worked in chip shop, then I got another job, drinking on a weekend, just not doing nothing with my life. So like again, I was living for a weekend. You can easily go down the wrong path, and like just it's too easy done. So I think you need them. You need someone coming in and drilling you.
100%. Last week I had Kit Galahad on, and same thing, he spoke about how, you know, boxing essentially had saved his life. Yeah. And a conversation that he had with Nazim Hammers. As you do. I was like, I was in the local mosque with Nazim Hammers. I was like, as in the prince. I was like, that is too big. But he was talking about how he had been in this kind of life where, you know, it was the wrong path, and it was very close to being the really wrong path. Yeah. And boxing saved him. And, you know, I come from a very privileged background. You know what I mean? I never, you know, I was never around crime. I was never around anything like that. So I'm very naive to that environment, and probably a little bit ignorant, where I'm like, but why can't they just not choose that life? You know what I mean? Like, why does it just do, you know, find what they love? And he's like, you don't understand it. It's like, because in your community, the people who have money, the people who you perceive to be successful, that, you know, have everything, are people like drug dealers or criminals. Yeah. And there's no doctors, there's no, you know, lawyers, there's no professional athletes, you know what I mean, world champions. And he's like, that's what will eventually shape your perception of what you want to be or who you want to be. That's so heartbreaking. Yeah. You know, to think that it's literally as easy as just being an influence or being someone who's doing something great in the community that can inspire children. So I get why, you know, it would be important to you. Yeah, and like, I know I've been speaking, I don't know if you've done anything with Anthony yet. Thompson? Yeah. Yeah. So like, he's been telling me how program. Obviously he was involved in gangs and stuff growing up. This is Anthony Tomlinson. Like, years he was involved in, obviously being in prison and stuff. Yeah. And the fact now that he's going to be going into schools and like just educating the kids that lifestyle's not all it seems, and there's better things you can choose to do. So, and in the case of Anthony in particular, you know, that's a testament to his character, because, and same with yourself as well, you know, you're a world champion. You're at the height of your career. You don't have to do that. You don't have to be doing a summer camp.
Yeah.
And like that with him, he's made the right choices now. He's turned his life around and he doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it's in you to want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's there. You guys are the real heroes. You know what I mean? I know that's like going, you're the real heroes. This is your life.
Do you know where my cape is? Is there a cape behind here?
Danielle, please bring in the hero cape for TERRI HARPER. But you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing of you don't have to do it, and it's the want to do it. That's what make people that's what makes a champion.
Yeah.
You know? What do you think? Great question, Lydia. Leading on to that. What do you think makes a great champion? No, but seriously, like, when you think of yourself as a champion, like, what are the qualities that you feel like you want to portray to the world? What's important to you?
Humble.
Yes.
True to yourself.
Tick.
Help others.
Tick.
So not forgetting where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
And just obviously you need things like dedication. And
yeah.
I know there's plenty of days where I wake up and I'm like, oh.
Do you really?
Yeah. All the time. I would rather be in bed, but
yeah.
You just realise these are sacrifices that need to be made. And
what is the process when you're in bed and you wake up and you're like, I don't want to go? Like, do you snooze the alarm? Is there something in your stomach that goes, get up, Terry?
So, like, I probably got better.
Do you look at the belt? Is the belt in the corner of your room?
Do you know, sometimes when I'm cleaning my belt cabinet, I'm like, oh my God, these are mine. Like, that, it's insane. It blows my mind. I'm like little housewife and everything. They're mine. It's just like, I don't struggle getting up now. Like, I've got into a good routine. Like, whereas, like, now I'm more a morning person than I am a night. I'd be in bed for 8:30 asleep. Yeah. Happily. And then I do like early mornings. So like on a Sunday when it's my rest day, I'm up at 7:30. But that to me,
commiserations, Jen.
That to me seems late. So like, so I obviously got trained. Do you know what gets me most? When I know I've got a hard run. So like when I've got my 30-second max sprints, which I did last night. That's when it gets me most. That's when it's like, especially the dark mornings, dark nights. Yeah. But what gets me is like when I'm driving over to Danny's gym at like 6:30 in the morning, and you see people working going to their 9-to-5 job. Yeah. They've got a face miserable as sin, and I just think, well, I'm driving to the gym to train. Yeah. To do something I love. Yeah. And I'm back home in 2 hours. Mm-hmm. Got the rest of the day to myself. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I just think, easy life. Easy life. If you want to call it. It is, but it isn't. Yeah. You know, but it's an easy life from the context of doing something you love. Doing something you love. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's not a chore. Yeah. And being, you know, a very small percentage of people in the world who know what they want to do. Yeah. I think that's the hardest thing for people, isn't it? Like figuring out, like, what is it? People think when they finish school or they're in college that it will just come to them. Yeah. Like, not everyone is that lucky. You know, some people just get jobs and they're in it then. Yeah. See, like, I love all the stories that have come from lockdown. Like, people obviously who've gone from working 9-to-5 jobs that they absolutely hate, and obviously they've been forced obviously to stay at home, and then they find the love, and they find what they love to do, and they've made a business from it. So like, take your hat off to them people who've gone out and they've hit rock bottom and now they're thriving. Yeah, it's good. And that's because obviously lockdown was bleeding awful for all of us. Yeah, not that it's been like that for everyone. Mad times. I mean, some people just went on the session even harder for the year and a half. But you know, there has been those stories of like just positive stories of finding something that you want to do, being brave enough to go, well, look, we're kind of up shit's creeks here anyway, so we might as well just do whatever we want. Yeah. So there has been like some positive stories that have come of it. But one thing that I want to ask you as well is like, so when you meet TERRI HARPER, your demeanour is very laid back, quiet, humble, you know. And then when we see you in the ring, it's a completely different animal. Yeah. Switch. What happens? Like, do you physically feel it when you're in there? Like a switch that goes, okay, champion is going to come out now. So like, yeah, I am very laid back and chilled, but like for me, it's like once you're in changing room, like your nerves start. Like I'm pretty relaxed. Like when I was younger and obviously boxing amateur, I used to struggle with my nerves. And,
really, yeah. Before you go into the ring.
But I think coming away and then starting professional, I can remember being in changing room on my debut and I just felt like calm. Like I think Andrew had like some reason for that. Like he was good. My amateur coach Paulie was like, you need to do this, you need to do that, and like that got me.
Or you need someone very calm.
Yeah, so
okay.
So Andrew was like the laughing, the joking in changing room, and I'm like, oh, what's happening here? It's chill. So you're like, but like once your hands are wrapped and your music's playing and you start warming
what's
up,
your music? What's going on in the changing room?
I like Pink.
Yeah. Okay.
A bit of Pink.
I'm trouble.
That's good vocals. Like.
Yeah. Well, I used to be a singer, TERRI Harper.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'll think of another song by end. Yeah, so like hands wrapped, song music's playing, you're starting tapping away on pads and stuff like that, and then like that's it for me. And it's just, like once you walk into the ring, your blinkers are on, you're fully focused on the job that you need to do. And I know like Andrew's like telling me stuff in my ears, but you're just like that focused. And I remember like back in February of 2020 before lockdown, fighting at Sheffield Arena in front of thousands of people. Like that's like most people have ever boxed in front of. And like some people would have gone into the show and been like scared, but I feel like you don't really click on what's happening around you until. So like walking to the ring, like everything's just in a blur really. And it's like once the job were done, then like Andrew will like take a look around you, like let's soak it in, because these are the moments that mean like the most. So like obviously when the job were done, then you look around and you're like, wow, as if I've just done that. Like,
is it kind of when you're walking out, when you're making those kind of ring walks, is it like slow motion? Like can you remember it when you look back, and can you vividly remember it, or are you just like can't really remember that?
Yeah, man, no.
It's so weird. Like I don't know how many ring walks have we seen? We've seen bloody thousands, you know. But when you think about it, it's the beauty of the sport, isn't it? Like it's such a weird thing. You know what I mean? It's like getting in there and like it's gladiator shit, isn't it? It's literally gladiator shit.
All eyes on you. Do you know what gets me? Like,
go on.
Always been shy person. Like, like growing up through school, I won't be able to make eye contact with like teachers and stuff. You know when I'm talking? I'm a bit of a weirdo, I think.
No, good.
But like I remember when I first turned over professional, Andrew was like, you need to do interviews, and like I was saying earlier, like if I knew I had an interview, like next week, if I knew I had an interview next week, all weekend, it's just on my mind. So see, I forgot what I'm going to say now.
You're talking about the experience of going out there.
So like and I can remember at university, one of my lessons, I had to stand up in front of everyone and like publicly speak.
Yeah. And
I was just like, I had a piece of paper, then I just went, I can't do it. Like bright red, I went, I can't do it. And my lecturer was looking at me, she's like, what do you mean? I went, can't do it. So I went and sat down and I was just like bright red, and I was just like, oh my God, like, am I ever going to get like over this like stage fright? So the fact that I wasn't able to do that, but as soon as you're chucking me in a boxing ring in front of thousands of people, I'll happily do that.
Is it like a what's the words? An alternative.
Yeah, like it's like
alter ego.
Yeah, like people tell you.
Like Beyonce, when she says she goes on stage, she's like a completely
pretend just like you're someone else.
Yeah,
that's it. I think that's it, because I've got that much confidence on the boxing side. Whereas when I'm talking, I always think, oh my God, I've said this word wrong, or I said something, scared of saying something stupid.
Yeah, and
I think that's what it is. But obviously now, like you probably heard my voice at the beginning of this podcast. I'm like, oh, because I was so nervous. You probably pick up on that now. But now, like, obviously relax. Like, I just think the more you chuck yourself into doing something and force yourself to do it, obviously the better you get.
What is the fear for you? Is it that you'll say something stupid, or that you look stupid, or
yeah, probably a bit of everything, really, I think.
Yeah, but do you now that you are the champ, you know, and you like undefeated, signed to Matchroom, like, you know, tick tick tick, all the things, do you notice the room changing a little bit when you walk into it, like how people treat you or perceive you? Has it changed since you've kind of got all these accolades?
I don't know, not really. Just people who obviously recognise you and they're obviously coming and speak to you and they're singing your praises and like. Do you know what gets me most? When someone will just come up to me and be like, oh my God, it's you. Like, can I have a picture? And the proper shaking. And I just think, yeah, it's only me. Calm down. Come and have a picture. Like, it just blows my mind that people are like that. And, but I think it's like, got me used to just talking to strangers.
Yeah.
Like, never before I would have been able to just have a conversation with a stranger. Yeah. Whereas now, like, they come and tell me stuff more than what I know about me. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then, like, full conversation with a stranger, which...
Is it a weird experience to like have people recognize you? Yeah. You know, can you remember like the first couple, when was it the first time that we sort of said, okay, things are changing now, everyone's starting to recognize me?
Well, they didn't recognize me, they recognized Jen.
Of course they did.
Yeah. We just obviously I fought on the Sheffield show in February against Eva, and then I took my mum and my two sisters, and then me and Jen we flew out to Gran Canaria, and then we just like got to a hotel and this guy like his neck like proper snapped like that, and he went to Jen, were you on Sky overnight?
Stop it.
Yeah, and she went, yeah, and then Jen pointed to me and then he went, and she were one boxing, and he went, oh no way, like he couldn't believe it and stuff, and he said he'd seen me fight and that, and then he said he just recognised Jen, you know, with
her hair,
crazy hair. Yeah. But yeah, there's places I go now where people will be like mainly local. Like, if I go to Asda now, I'm talking to everyone. Like, everyone, it's like, people I don't even know, and they're talking to me like they know me. But obviously, it's because it's such a small village, and everyone's got behind me, and it's good, so. Yeah. I'm rubbish with names as well, so. I probably do know half of them, but I just forgot the name.
How is Jen with it? Is it kind of weird for her? Like, if you're out for dinner or something.
Totally.
Do you ever notice people, like, you know, with a little sly little photograph of you?
Yeah. But, like, Jen's the one that, like, she loves it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm, like, trying to be low-key, like, try not make a big fuss. And Jenna's like, tell him who you are. Yeah. Tell him who you are. And I'm like, she was going, I'm going to tell him who you are.
Free bottle of wine.
Yeah, I'm like, Jenna, I say, I will walk out of here if you start kicking up a fuss. And I'm like, no. I says, if they know who I am, then they'll come and, like, but, yeah, like, total opposite. So I remember when we got we got my new car. I've traded it now anyway, but like when I got the Range Rover, like Jenna's driving around the village like this, like proper loving it, and I'm like sitting in passenger seat, like, oh my God, Jenna,
Happle down.
Yeah, this is like, but like to be fair, it was nice to, like that was my dream car for me.
Yeah,
I drove it for a week, and then I'm like, oh, that's when I realised it's just a car. Like, it gets you for does same job, and it's like for me, I've never been a materialistic person.
Yeah.
I'm probably tight with my money, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah, Jenna tells me all the time that I'm tight with my money. But I like to look after it.
Like after a fight, sat down, counting it all.
Yeah, it's like, right, that's budget for this week. £10 for this week. Yeah, but
that's not a bad thing though, is it? Better to be like that than to be, you know, frugal. Is that the word? I don't know. Frugal, splashing it.
I got it.
Yeah, you know. Doing that way, boys.
It's like I remember, like we went down over a weekend to fight camp. And Eddie, bless him, like he's a good guy. Saying like obviously because he knows I've been at a ring almost a year.
You throw you 20 quid.
It's like, Terry, you can ring me if you need, like you can let me know if you need any money. I'm like, I'm from council estate, Eddie. I can make money last if I need to make it last. So.
Oh, that's nice of him though, isn't it? Yeah, that's really nice.
It's like, I know people have a lot of opinions on Eddie and stuff, but he really does look out for his fighters. And like, obviously, when I had my first operation, he came and he paid £4,000 for it to fix. Yeah. So, and then obviously, when I fought Eva Wallstrom, he gave me a bonus on top of that, and that's obviously let me take my family away and stuff like that. So,
are those moments, not particularly with Eddie, and like obviously being generous like that is a huge plus to know that you're being looked after.
Yeah.
But being able to take your family away like that, you know, for me, I always love the giving of like a gift rather than receiving a gift. It's like seeing people's faces when you can like surprise them or provide them with something. Yeah. Is it like that for you as well?
Yeah. So like, biggest goal for me, obviously COVID and that put like slowed everything down, but like I want to take my full family like on a big family holiday because I just think nothing can beat obviously memories and stuff like that. And I know there's like new flannels. You know what Meadowhall is? It flannel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I now know what Meadowhall is. Yeah.
So I went to
When a
Meadowhall.
flannels, is this like a place in Meadowhall?
Yeah, like is it it's a designer outlet, like, or not outlet, design, like all designer clothes and that are there.
Our producer Danielle is into fashion.
It's flannels, isn't it?
Flannels.
Yeah.
Right.
So
okay.
like
Yeah.
they've just got a new one of them in Meadowhall. So like,
Right.
so I wanted something nice to wear for fight camp.
Yeah.
So I go walking through. Some of them price tags, like I could buy them, but I just think I can't justify spending £700 on a pair of trainers.
Yes.
When there's my family, some of my friends like struggling to pay bills and stuff. I just think I'd rather help them than
Cause well, there was I won't embarrass him, but there was a professional fighter in here last week, and he had a Rolex watch, 13 grand.
But I think if
he's like, it's an investment. I'm like, I don't care if I'm getting 30 back. I was like, I am not spending 13 grand on a Rolex.
I won't dare wear it.
That's what I was like, and you were like swinging it around. He was like, yeah, try it on. You know, I was like shaking, putting it on, like so scared. Now maybe, hopefully one day, a 13k Rolex will be nothing to me. But right now, it just seems, nuts.
Deposit on a house.
Yeah, you could do so much with this, you know.
Like, but I know like if you've come from nothing, you've earned it. You've gone out, like go and spend your money. But for me, I think I could never be that type of person. Come back to me in 2 years when I've got my million.
I'm like, remember, the two of us with 3 Rolex on each. Remember the day we used to sit back and say we wouldn't wear these? Look at us now. But ending on our podcast, it's a question I love to end on, and it's, how would you like to be remembered?
Oh.
When they're all sitting in the pub around the bar and someone says Terri Harper, what would you want the conversation to be?
That's that bird who broke around it forth and carried on until 9th round and still stopped.
Come on!
No. I just hope people, like obviously social media, people don't get to see, they only get to see one side here. And I hope people can see how genuine I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not fake. I don't come out pretending to be someone I'm not. I'm just laid back, and I just enjoying my life and enjoying the opportunities that I'm being given. So I just hope everyone can see through. I try to come across on my social media as just your average Joe, really. So I hope that's what everyone, and people can relate to me and stuff like that. So
100%. Well, I think you've achieved that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Terri Harper, for coming in and joining my chat show on the first. I always feel like I'm doing a chat show here. But thank you so much. Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, loved it. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate your time. It was really good. And thank you for being so open and honest.
No, thanks for having me.
It's the whole premise of here. But thank you so much. World champion Terri Harper for the First Exchange podcast.